What's up guys, I'm Redken Global Artistic Ambassador, Maggie Perry, and today I'm gonna be teaching you my Glimmer Lights technique, perfect for brunettes, featuring Blonde IQ 9+. Okay, Diva, so I feel like your hair is it totally virgin?
Yeah.
Wow. So what do you wanna do today?
In the front, definitely like some lightness and like something quite like framing, like in terms of like the front strands and stuff like that. But
Okay.
other than that, you know, pure creative freedom.
Perfect. Do you have any pictures you want to show me?
Yes.
I like this picture.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit more brightness and a little bit of a darker base,
Yeah.
like slightly. So you want to darken up the top a little bit?
I'm happy with that, yeah.
Yeah, I think we should, because the color's a little flat.
Okay.
It's beautiful, but I feel like if we bring some warmth and like a little bit of depth into it, it would look really nice.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm very happy with that.
gorgeous. Okay, I'm excited. Let's do it.
Same.
Okay guys, so how I'm going to approach this, because she does want her underlying tone to be a lot darker. Her hair is very thick, okay? So I don't want to just do a root shade after I do the highlights and then leave all of this. I want to shift it tonally all over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to color it first, and I'm going to use shades ALK, okay? So my primary shade is going to be 6N. I'm going to do 6N with a touch of 7C. So I'm gonna do 30 grams of 6N and 2 grams of 7C. I just wanna add a little kick of warmth to her base. And then on her ends, I'm going to do 50 grams of 6N, 3 grams of 7C, and 15 grams of 8G. So I'm gonna lighten the tone on the ends just a touch, adding a little bit of warmth to the base. I like to get my foundation color if I'm doing a big transformation like this first, and then I'm gonna go back in and do the highlights after. So let's apply that color. All right guys, we are just gonna apply this all over color, very standard. We're gonna drag it down about 3 inches on the root and then apply the ends color. Very basic, very basic. Don't overthink it. All right guys, we got our all over color applied. We're gonna let this sit for 20 minutes, blow dry, and then we're gonna come back and do the highlights. Okay guys, look at this beautiful brunette. Oh my God, I feel like we could stop here because it's so stunning. That little touch of copper in there really made it glow. It's like the perfect amount. It's a nice rosy brown. I love this color. But let's make it even better and let's add some movement and some dimension, very minimal. So I'm gonna do a little teasy light on her, and I wanna focus the highlighted parts that come up almost to the top only on this section. So we are gonna part out a mohawk section on the top. And because I want a lot of dimension in the back, I'm actually gonna cut it off in the back an inch before the round of the head to leave that dimension there. So we're not going all the way to the back. Gorge. Then I'm gonna take an inch section parallel to her face, down to her ear for the face frame. Same thing on the other side. I'm gonna create a little middle part here on the round since we didn't go all the way back. Then I'm gonna come in and create a side section here. Same thing on this side. And then for the back, I'm going to simply just divide it into 2. So there we have our sectioning. Mohawk section, that stops an inch before the round of the head to preserve that dimension at the top, because I don't want highlights coming in all the way in the back. 2 side sections, 2 back sections, and an inch thick on the sides by her ears. Let's get into application. I'm gonna come in about 2-inch thick sections. I'm gonna take a 1/2 inch slice off the top. I'm gonna hold it towards the ends and take my comb and tease. Now I'm gonna go in with a medium weave to create some nice subtle ribbons in her hair. Place my board underneath. And I'm coming in with Blonde IQ 20 volume at a 1:2 ratio. And I'm gonna scrub at the top to create a nice airy blend there in the mids. And then saturate those tips. So I'm creating a graduation in my saturations. It's less saturated at the top, more saturated as it goes down. So it will lift less and more and more. Big section, 2 inches. Taking a 1/2 inch off the top of that. Pulling my section down, holding the tips, and pushing all this dimension up and out of the way. Coming through with a medium weave. Place my board in, scrubbing at the mids, keeping it low, and saturating the ends. Again, 2 inches, slicing off the top, tease, weave, blend. Twice more. And for the final one, I'm just gonna round out and cut off the top of this triangle like this. Tease up, weave, and blend. All right, very simple, very fast. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 foils total. So I'm gonna do that exact same thing over here in this section, and then I'll bring you back to show you what I'm gonna do on the sides. All right, I'm gonna do her face framing section first. I'm gonna do diagonal back. I'm gonna cut this into 3. Taking this first piece, holding it far down, teasing up. I'm gonna take this a little higher than the tip outs, but not all the way to the top because I still want it to be nice and lived in, not oversaturating. We don't want to overlift. Again, diagonal back. I'm gonna drop down this little layer here so that doesn't get pushed all the way up. Coming up, almost all the way to the top. And then same thing on this last one. Perfect. That completes the side of our face frame. I'm going to take thick diagonal back sections, about 2 inches, just like the back. Over directing forward to make sure I'm keeping the layers in the front in, pushing up with the tees, weaving, scrubbing in the mids, pulling down to the ends, and saturating. And then I'm gonna do about 1 inch, so a little bit thinner than the back, a little more brightness in the front, just a touch. Over directing forward, back comb, weave, scrub at the mids, drag it down. Again, about 1 inch thick. All right, now I'm gonna cut this off right here at this point. These will be our last 2. And our final one. I'm gonna do the same exact thing I did here, right here, and then we will move on to our final section on the top. I cannot get over how beautiful this brunette is. Seriously, look at this color. I can't. We are on to our final section. I'm gonna come into the front and I'm gonna trace a rounded section around her hairline, about 1/2 inch. I'm gonna divide it into 2, tease up, place my board, pushing the tees underneath the board. Coming in, not going too high. Keeping about 1 inch of dimension. Then I'm just gonna comb up on this one little piece closest to the front. Same thing on this side. Perfect, that completes our face frame. Now I'm gonna come into the top. A little bit less than 1 inch. I'm going to take a thin slice, drop down that dimension, and I'm gonna weave through and then tease. Come in, blend, leaving about 1 inch of dimension at the root. These are gonna add that nice little sun kiss onto the surface of her hair. Again, a little bit less than 1 inch. Taking a thin slice off the top, drop down the dimension, weave through. Perfect. We're gonna keep doing that all the way through her whole top mohawk section. I'll bring you back to show you the final foil, Then we will let her process and we'll move on to toner. All right, look at this beautiful raw lift. Honestly, I feel like she could get away with just this, but let's give it that extra kiss of warmth. We're gonna go in with 7N, and I'm gonna use the gloss to gel for control in zone 1 for her root. This is just gonna help to neutralize some of the lift at the top and create a nice gradient in the color. And for her ends, I am going to do equal parts of 9GI and 8GG. The 9GI is gonna cancel out some of the unwanted warmth, and the 8GG is gonna put in that beautiful gold dipped color. I'm gonna use the classic processing solution for the ends color. So let's get started. We are going in with our 7N at the top. On these back highlights, I'm just gonna drag it down about 2 inches. And then on this front piece, just a touch, about 1 inch. 1/2 inch thick sections. And then where her face frame is, pulling it back and just coming right over the tops of those highlights. So these are the only areas where the highlights are going high up. The tip outs are nice and blended and low down. I'm not gonna drag the root over those. I'm just gonna brush that through. Same thing on this side. Grabbing the face frame, pulling it back. Now I'm gonna go in with my ends color all over her head, about inch thick sections. I'm gonna apply this all over her head, just like this, where all of the highlights live. I'm gonna let it process for 20 minutes and then I'll bring you back for the final result. All right, guys, these are our final results. It's absolutely beautiful. What do you think?
I'm obsessed. I love it.
It looks so good. I'm so happy with this. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed learning my Glimmer Lights technique, and I hope that you try this technique in the salon. If you do, be sure to tag me. I would love to see your work.